Picture this. You're knee-deep in a cesspit. The stench of human waste clawing at your throat. Your hands raw from shoveling filth under a moonless sky. This was your life's work. Speed this up to 1.25x, and let's plunge into the grime of the medieval era together. What would you do to survive in a world where every job could break your body or your spirit? Could you endure a life where disease lurked in every task, where society spat on you for the work you did? What if your survival meant wading through urine, blood, or worse, every single day? These aren't just questions. They're the reality of the medieval era, where the lowest jobs were the backbone of society, yet carried a stench that lingered for centuries. Today, we're diving into 10 of the most disgusting occupations of the Middle Ages, jobs so vile they'd make your skin crawl. But this isn't just about the filth. It's about the people who did these jobs, the forgotten souls who kept cities standing while the world turned its back. Through research from historians like Dr. John Arnold and archives like the British Library, we'll uncover the truth behind their lives, backed by data and woven with stories that'll hit you in the gut. So, stick with us until the end, because by the time we're done, you'll see these workers in a new light. Ready? Let's step into the muck. 1. Gong farmer, human waste remover. First, imagine the clock striking 9 p.m. The city of London sleeps, but for you, the night is just beginning. You're a gong farmer, tasked with digging out the human waste that festers in cesspits beneath the city's latrines. The air is thick with a stench so foul it burns your eyes. Each shovelful of sludge is a battle against nausea, and the risk of slipping into the pit is ever present. In 1326, a man named Richard the Raker fell into his own cesspit and drowned, his name etched in history not for heroism but for tragedy. A 2019 study by medieval historian Dr. John Arnold notes gong farmers earned 6 pence daily, a week's wage for others, yet faced asphyxiation from noxious gases. Check the University of Leicester's 2020 report on medieval sanitation for the full study. They worked only at night, carting barrels of night soil outside city walls to avoid offending the public. Every scoop was a reminder of their place, the bottom of society's ladder. Picture Edric, a gong farmer whose calloused hands tell a story of survival. His wife turns away when he comes home, the smell of his work clinging to him like a curse. He dreams of a life beyond the pits, but the city's filth is his prison. Yet, here's the hidden truth. Without gong farmers, cities like London would have drowned in waste, fueling plagues that could have wiped out entire populations. Their work was vile but vital. By the 18th century, water closets and modern plumbing ended this wretched trade, but Edric's kind were unsung heroes, their labour keeping society afloat while they sank into obscurity. Can you imagine a job that paid well but cost your dignity? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. And as Edric hauled another bucket of filth, something broke inside him, but the night wasn't done with its horrors. 2. Leech collector. Now you're wading through a murky pond, the cold biting your legs. You stand still, waiting as leeches latch onto your skin, their bites sharp and relentless. You're a leech collector, supplying medieval doctors who believed bloodletting balanced the body's humours: phlegm, black bile, yellow bile, and blood. Each worm drinks up to 0.35 ounces of blood, and you need dozens to make a day's wage. Too many, and you're dizzy, weak, barely able to stumble back to shore. A 2021 medical history study in the Journal of Medieval Medicine reveals leech bites could transmit hepatitis or malaria, turning collectors into patients. The ponds were filthy, teeming with bacteria, and open wounds invited infection that could fester for weeks. Meet Eliana, a young woman who took this job to feed her siblings after their parents succumbed to fever. Her legs are scarred, her dreams of a better life fading with every slimy bite. She counts the leeches not just for coin, but to distract herself from the pain, each one a reminder of her sacrifice. The hidden truth is that leeches were medicine's gold, used to treat everything from fevers to headaches, saving lives in a twisted parasitic way. By the 19th century, synthetic treatments and better medical understanding replaced bloodletting. But Eliana's scars linger in history's shadows. Which sounds worse, shoveling human waste or collecting leeches? Tell us below. The leeches dropped off, but the weight of survival pressed harder. Third tanner. The air reeks of urine and rotting flesh. You're a tanner, transforming animal hides into leather for belts, armor, shoes, and water bottles. You start by washing blood, mud, and manure off the hides, the odor so strong you've vomited on the job. Then you soak them in stale urine to loosen the hair, scraping for months until your hands ache and your back screams. The final step is a solution of pigeon and dog feces to soften the leather. The stench so vile it clings to your clothes, your hair, your very soul. A 2020 British Library report confirms tanners lived in poverty, shunned for their stench. See their study on medieval trades for more. Meet Godric, whose family turned away from him, unable to bear his smell. He once hoped to craft fine leather for a lord, but now he's an outcast, his hands stained forever. The hidden truth is that tanners were despised, yet they're craft-clothed kings and armored knights. Without them, medieval society would have crumbled. No saddles for horses, no shoes for peasants, no armor for battles. And modern tanning replaced urine and feces with chemicals, but Godric's toil built empires. Tanners probably invented the phrase, "It stinks to be me." Agree? Comment below. Godric's hands never cleaned, but another job burned hotter. 4. Lime burner. You're a lime burner, feeding limestone into a kiln blazing at 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit, 3 times hotter than a modern oven. The heat sears your skin, and carbon dioxide fumes make you dizzy, threatening collapse or even blindness. For a week, you work 12-hour shifts, day or night, to produce quicklime for mortar, the glue of medieval construction. One wrong move, and the kiln could erupt in flames, as noted in a 2022 University of London study on medieval construction. The limestone dust coats your lungs, and the risk of spontaneous combustion haunts every shift. Picture Wulfric, whose eyes sting from dust, his dreams of building grand cathedrals overshadowed by the kiln's relentless glow. He's seen friends faint, their bodies dragged from the heat, yet he presses on, knowing his work binds stone to stone. The hidden truth is that lime burners built the Middle Ages' grandest structures, castles, cathedrals, city walls, yet were forgotten, their names lost to history. Modern cement and safer kilns ended their trade, but their legacy stands in every towering spire. Ever worked a job that felt like hell? Share in the comments. The kiln's heat faded, but another job spun dizzily. 5. Treadmill operator, cathedral crane worker. You're inside a wooden wheel, 15 feet wide, hundreds of feet above ground. You're a treadmill operator, powering cranes to lift stone blocks for cathedrals soaring 400 feet high. Each step is exhausting, your legs burning as you walk in place for hours. There's no break. If you slip, the wheel spins you senseless. Or worse, a broken plank sends you plummeting to your death. A 2018 Oxford study highlights the job's danger, noting it was often assigned to the blind who couldn't see the drop. Check their report on medieval engineering. Meet Cuthbert, a blind operator whose world is sound and sweat. He listens for the creak of wood, the groan of rope, counting steps to keep his rhythm. His blindness spares him the terror of the height, but not the fear of falling. The hidden truth is that treadmill operators raised Europe's greatest spires, their footsteps carving history into stone. Yet, they were invisible, their labor erased. Mechanical cranes and steam power replaced them, but their steps echo in every cathedral's shadow. Imagine working blind at that height. Could you do it? Drop a comment. Cuthbert's wheel stopped, but another job cut deeper. Sixth executioner, knacker. You're an executioner, standing before a jeering crowd, axe in hand. One clean strike, or you face the mob's wrath. Beheadings, hangings, burnings. Your job is death, but it's not steady work. To survive, you clear animal carcasses as a knacker, hauling rotting flesh from streets and farms. Society shuns you, forcing you to live at the edge of town, barred from churches and scorned by neighbours. A 2020 University of St Andrews report on medieval justice confirms executioners were ostracised, their lives as lonely as their victims. Meet Leofric, whose children bear his stigma, their laughter silenced by neighbours' glares. He sharpens his axe not just for work, but to drown out the whispers of his own guilt. The hidden truth is that executioners offered a good death, letting sinners confess and repent before the end, a twisted mercy in a brutal world. Modern justice systems and humane methods replaced them, but their burden lingers. Ever felt judged for your work? Share below. Leofric's axe fell, but another job bled slower. Seventh plague barrier. It's 1348, and the Black Death ravages Europe, killing half the continent. You're a plague barrier, carting bodies to mass graves. The stench of rotting flesh is unbearable, and buboes leak rancid pus as you pile corpses high, a rag over your face doing little against the plague's grip. You know you might be next, your own cough growing worse each night. A 2020 Cambridge study estimates 50 million died, and buriers faced infection daily. See their report on the Black Death for more. Meet Edith, who buries her own neighbours, her heart breaking with each shovelful. She wraps a child in a shroud, remembering its mother's smile, now gone. The hidden truth is that plague barriers saved cities from worse decay, their work slowing the spread of disease. Yet they were despised, accused of profiting from death. Sanitation advances and better medicine ended their role, but their courage endures. Could you bury a friend? Tell us in the comments. Edith's cart rolled on, but another job soaked deeper. 8. Fuller. You're a fuller stomping wool in a vat of stale human urine for hours. The ammonia softens cloth, but the stench clings to your skin, your clothes, your very breath. Your legs ache, your back screams, and society scorns you as contemptible, as historian Jacques Le Goff notes in his book Time, Work, and Culture in the Middle Ages. A 2019 Sorbonne study confirms fullers were despised for handling urine, their labour seen as sinful. Check their report on medieval textiles. Meet Beatrix, whose hands are raw, her dreams of crafting fine gowns crushed by the vat's endless slosh. She hums to forget the smell, but the townsfolk's sneers follow her home. The hidden truth is that fullers clothed nobles, their work weaving the fabrics that adorned castles, yet they were mocked, their craft dismissed. Fabric softeners and industrial looms replaced their trade, but their labour wove history's tapestry. Ever done a job that stained you? Comment below. Beatrix's vat stilled, but another job roasted hotter. 9. Spitboy, kitchen fire roaster. You're a spitboy, turning a metal rod over a roaring fire, roasting meat for a lord's feast. The heat blisters your skin, and grease splatters, burning your face and arms. Hours pass, and exhaustion threatens to pull you into the flames, your thirst unbearable as the fire roars. A 2021 Durham study notes spitboys risked heat stroke and severe burns, their work relentless. See their report on medieval kitchens. Meet young Tom, whose hunger gnaws as he cooks for others. The smell of roasting meat a cruel taunt. He dreams of feasting at the Lord's table, but his place is by the fire, unseen. The hidden truth is that spitboys fed castles, their sweat flavouring the feasts that defined medieval power. Yet they starved, their labour unnoticed. Modern ovens and kitchen automation ended their toil, but their work nourished history. Ever worked near danger? Share in the comments. Tom's fire dimmed, but another job armed the brave. 10th. Arming squire. You're an arming squire, a teenager serving a knight. You clean armor caked with blood, guts, and mud, scrubbing with a foul mix of urine and vinegar. On the battlefield, you run unarmed to deliver weapons, dodging blades and arrows, your heart pounding as death looms. A 2020 York study highlights squires' high mortality in battle, their youth no shield. Check their report on medieval warfare. Meet Osric, who dreams of knighthood but fears each clash, his hands trembling as he polishes his knight's helm. He's seen friends fall, their bodies left on the field, yet he runs again, driven by hope. The hidden truth is that squires were the backbone of chivalry, carrying the weight of knight's glory, yet they were disposable, their names forgotten. Knighthood evolved, and modern militaries replaced their role, but their bravery shines. Could you serve in danger? Drop a comment. These 10 jobs, gong farmer, leech collector, tanner, lime burner, treadmill operator circuited here, executioner, plague barrier, fuller, spit boy, and arming squire, were the medieval era's unseen pillars. They waded through filth, faced death, and bore society's scorn, yet their work built the world we know. From Edric's cesspit to Osric's battlefield, their resilience echoes today. Think of modern sanitation workers, first responders, or waste collectors. They too carry stigmas, but keep our cities safe. A 2022 Harvard study reminds us every society needs its unsung heroes. Check their report on labor history. These workers were invisible, yet their labor held society together. They toiled in the shadows, their hands blistered, their hearts heavy, but their work shaped history. Gong farmers kept cities clean, leech collectors fueled medicine, tanners clothed empires, lime burners built cathedrals, treadmill operators raised spires, executioners offered mercy, plague barriers slowed death, fullers wove nobility, spit boys fed power, and squires upheld chivalry. Their jobs were disgusting, but their legacy is undeniable. What's the worst job you can imagine doing for survival? Share in the comments. We read them all. Hit subscribe to uncover more hidden histories, and share this with someone who needs a reminder of human grit. These workers toiled in the dark, but today we light their legacy. Thanks for watching.